So what's the difference between what rich people do to get money versus poor people who constantly live paycheck to paycheck? In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you with some of my friends their habits of how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. What's cracking, everybody? Money Smart Guy Matt Sapaula here, and we're excited right here in Los Angeles to be at Patrick Bet-David's 40th birthday party, celebrating not only the 9th year birthday of our company, but his entrance into the 40s. Listen, guys, I want to get right to it. I want to share with you some of the things that we do as entrepreneurs from various backgrounds. By the way, the common denominator between everybody that you're going to be listening to in this video, all of us came from nothing. Nobody had a credit score. Nobody had a pedigree. Nobody here had a walk into corporate America or walk into starting to business. All of us started from this thing called scratch. So stay tuned. The difference between the rich and their habits and the poor coming right up. So Dr. Lin, what are you doing differently now that you're making money versus when you were broke?
So when I was broke, I had to clean everything. You know, I had to wash the dishes, I had to vacuum the floors, I had to make the beds. And now I don't do that. You know, so now it's, you know, I make the bed still, but you know, we have somebody that comes in and cleans the house. And so before I used to feel bad about that, but now I understand the value of time. And before I didn't understand the value of time. And so another thing is I have people that do things that I would, you know, customarily not do, like making copies, you know, filing things. Like, I know that's a practical answer, but those things before, because I grew up humble, I always felt bad about doing it for someone else.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So in other words, if you want it done right, do it yourself. But now that you're elevating a business, you realize I can delegate, and I can have somebody else do it. I create jobs.
That's right.
I can pay them because I focus on my unique abilities. You right saying that?
That's exactly right. Yeah, because I mean, now we have a staff. You know, so instead of, you know, just doing everything myself and taking my time, I'm able to help another family by allowing them to do it as well.
All right, Chris, what about you? What did you used to do when you were broke that you don't do now that you're making money?
So Matt, one of the biggest things that I used to do when I was broke and I didn't have money was I didn't understand how money attracts money. So I would spend money, but not just spend money. I'd spend money till it was in the negative. So it'd be like, okay, we got $1,000, we got $2,000 left. All right, let's spend it. And then once it was spent, it was, okay, let's keep spending and spending and spending. And then all of a sudden it's like, next Friday or the next cycle or the next payday comes and he's like, okay, we're $3,000 in the hole, we're negative $1,000 in the hole, we got to make this much to get back to even, and then so we can spend again.
So it's catch up.
It's playing catch up all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas now that mindset shift to where it's like, okay, if I can save 3 months, I can save 6 months. If I can save 6 months, I can save a year. If I could save 2 years, I can save 3 years. Where it now becomes an addiction or a game where it's like, how much more money can I amass where I can save so I can take advantage of opportunities that you otherwise wouldn't have if you didn't have cash on hand.
Oh,
That's it. So
that's so important because right now with the recession coming around, you want to be the bank when the recession hits, right?
Absolutely, because you know, a great mentor of mine once said that you want to have cash and you want to be liquid when that happens so you can weather the storm, but not only that, you can take advantage of opportunities that will avail themselves or present themselves when those downturns happen. Cash is king. Always has been, always will be.
Chris Phelps. I'm here with my man Hector Del Toro. Heck, what did you used to do when you were broke all the time that you don't do now that you're making money?
So when I was broke, I could say that everything goes back to habits. When you're younger, you usually see what your parents do. And my parents worked very hard, so we worked hard. But we didn't get to see the habits of wealthy people as far as investments, as far as what to do with the extra time or what to do as far as how to grow as a person. I used to party. I partied in my 20s. I had no purpose in life. I could tell you it was more make enough money to be able to have fun for the month, and that was all my goal. It was no goal.
That's what you live for.
That's all. That's it. There was no future. There was no vision. There was no passion. There's nothing else ahead of me. It was making enough money to be okay, to have some fun for the weekend, and that was it month after month. For many years I did that. I lived in San Jose for 5 years, and that was my life. It was make just enough. The moment I started seeing there was more out there, and I believe that I can actually have what was out there, I started paying attention to what other people were doing that were successful. You know, working harder, working smarter, I realized the purpose of having a business, the importance of having a business, and not being self-employed, which all the money was coming from me, and I couldn't leverage anybody else's time. So that was a big thing where I was able to multiply my money. As far as habits, I mean, we have trainings, meetings with book clubs. You're doing things differently now. I still have I'm gonna have fun on the weekend, but it's not the same. I'm not living for the weekend. The weekend is just kind of part of the routine, just to get by to the next one. So it's not the same importance. I travel more, so now I enjoy life more than I used to before. Before it was an empty life. Now it's I have my family, so I'm traveling around the world. So my vision is getting bigger. I have clarity on what I want. I believe that I can go to the next level, which before being Mexican, we don't see that. We don't believe that. And that was a big limiting belief. I thought, we're not, certain race, or we're not supposed to do that. That's not for us. But being surrounded by people that are doing it, like yourself, I tell you all the time, you set an example for us to follow. So at that point, I realized, hey, they're doing it. Why can't I have it? And that was a big, I can have more if I work more. I can have more if I improve. So it's constant improving, constant becoming better, learning how to run a business, learning how to be efficient with the business, and leveraging a lot of people's time. So that was the big thing that changed for me.
So this is Erica Del Toro, Hector's sister. Erica, same question to you.
I'll tell you, I actually never felt broke in my life, but I can tell you the difference between before my mindset and now. Definitely, I was not reading. I didn't have a mentor. I used to watch novelas to get out of my reality in a way. Does that make sense? So my novelas were my getaway versus hey, let me get a book and let me read it and let me improve and let me learn from people that are doing better than me. I didn't have that. So it's not like I feel that I was broke, but I know the difference between having a mentor in reading and self-development versus not doing it. That's something big.
Here George Fly was out there building a house right now, doing weekly updates on the home he's building.
Hammering.
Exactly.
Every day.
So George, what's different from you that you're up playing today, not just making money, that's completely different from when you were broke?
I was thinking, do I talk about something that changed in terms of my skill sets? But it was one day that changed everything for me. It was a $18,000 day, right? So it's a Saturday, and I remember on Saturdays, most people after the meetings would leave, and I'm there and I'm calling, and I get a meeting, and they're like, you got to drive 200 miles, right? This way, this way, this way to go see this client. And I'm like, the last thing I want to do is drive 200 miles all day on a Saturday. And I remember I'm not going to do it. I'm going to, make up some excuse, or I'm busy, or I'll take this appointment instead because it's close. And I decide what do I least want to do? Let me do that. And that's what changed. So the things I want to do least, I now do, whether I feel like doing them or not. But that day, I went and I saw a client, and he had some money in the account that was in the market, similar to today. Market was very high. Market was going to correct, and we were able to show him where he could move it, and it was an $18,000 day. And what happened for me that day wasn't just a habit of doing something I didn't want to do, but what happened that day was my belief system changed, that I believed it was possible. And I think the reason we don't take enough action is we don't believe it's possible. We don't go, ask somebody for a phone number or how they're doing, or date, or for business, or we don't call on an author of a book we want to meet, or we don't call on a congressman and set up a meeting, or we don't start a business. We don't do a lot of things because of our belief system. And I think one day you have to rock your belief system where you punch it in the face. Come on. By doing what you don't feel like doing, and then you realize it's possible for me. Yeah, that's it. $18,000 one day.
So Rodolfo Vargas relocated to Houston, Texas, baby. So what did you do differently when you were broke that you're no longer doing that when you're making money?
Good question, man. When I was broke, I only used to buy things on sale. Okay? Even if I didn't want it. So I used to go to the store, I used to go to the supermarket, I would only buy things on sale. I would only buy fast food. So I would go to, if I'm in Texas, I would go to Whataburger. If you have any Texan, that's my favorite burger. Now it's I only buy organic, or I only buy stuff like this, delicious. So that's what I changed. And I hate it, by the way. I hated to only have to buy things on sale. So if they were not on sale, I wouldn't buy it. That's crazy, man.
So that forced you to work harder.
Oh, I did, and I hated that. I hated to have to see something because the other thing was 10 cents cheaper. Have to buy it, even if I didn't want it.
But you come from El Salvador, bro. I mean, this is a completely different world for you, though, right?
I remember in El Salvador, I used to do the same. Only things on sale. And I remember in El Salvador, I used to ask my parents, can I have this? Can I have this? No, because it was not on sale.
So you took that same habit.
Now I buy things that I want. Not the things that I have to, no, things that I really want, that's the things that I want, that I buy. My man.
Ceci, same question to you. What did you do differently now that you're making money versus when you used to do all the time when you were broke?
So I used to do all the chores at the house. At the house, I used to have everything neat. I had to do the laundry. I had to do the dishes all the time. Now I don't do it anymore. And I will never go back, ever. I will never. I'm not gonna even pick up the laundry.
So somebody else is doing that for you.
Somebody else has to do it.
So you created a job.
Oh yes, absolutely, yes. But yeah, you need to create more jobs. Yes.
Here with Jose Gaitan, recently just purchased a red Ferrari, but you used to drive a what?
Sebring back in the day. Chrysler Sebring. I don't think they made those anymore. Yeah.
So, bro, what was one thing that you used to do when you were broke that kept you broke, that you broke that cycle, and now that you make a lot of money, what's one thing that would be different? Which one you have it?
You know, I was thinking about things that some of my friends did a lot. We played video games, a lot of video games, just watch TV and that stuff. I don't think I was that kind of guy. I was more the guy that I caught myself hanging out, doing unproductive things with unproductive people, having unproductive conversations, just hanging out with the wrong crowd. And come hang out here, come hang out with this group, come do this, come do that. And I found myself just BSing a lot, and then time going by with the wrong people, and just was completely unproductive. Versus today, it's now productive time with the right people that are productive, have productive conversations, talking about ideas. Like if you look around here, everyone here is making either $500,000 of income, $1 million, $2 million. They're making a lot of money. But we're talking about ideas in our future and where we're going. And it's productive conversation with productive people that add value to my life, and hopefully I can add value to them. Where in the past, people were not adding value to my life. And I wasn't adding value to their life either because I wasn't really going anywhere. So it was just a bunch of like nothing, right? Versus now you elevate yourself, and now you're hanging out with the right people, having productive conversations. You're going somewhere where in the past we weren't going anywhere. So it just was unproductive time, just time wasted. That's what I found myself doing. Now it's completely different. Now you're scaling your income because you're scaling your conversations, you're scaling the people you're around, and you find yourself growing, man. So that's the one thing. I think it's made a big difference.
Here with John Mason. Mason the Place. Money Mason.
How you doing?
So what's one thing that you used to do all the time when you're broke that's no longer there when you're making money?
So I was advised a while ago, there's 4 G's you want to be aware of. One is blood, greed, girls, or guys, and gambling. I got hooked on poker in college. One of my best friends, actually my best friend, was a huge poker player, taught me Texas Hold'em. So I read the books on Texas, and I would go to the casino and with him at night. Next thing you know, when I started building the business, I would still go as my relaxation. And I caught myself going during lunch breaks.
So it became an occupation.
Became an occupation versus a vacation. It turned into a vocation. Because you would think, okay, well, if I buy in for $500, how long will it take me to double my money if I win that day? Let's say it took me 5, 6, 7 hours. You know how many calls I could have made that day?
Oh.
How many appointments I could have ran, or how many new associates got started I could have called them to walk on them, or letters I could have written, or books I could have read. The fact is, at the end of the day, it was a waste of time because I was actually thinking small. I buy it for $500. All I'm trying to do is double my money. $500 back then may have seemed like a lot when money's very tight. But if you understand that the law of compounding, the compound effect, everything you do starts adding up. I stopped playing. I stopped going to the casinos. I had real lunches, and things just started taking off. It was a bad habit that wasn't dangerous. I wasn't spending 20 grand or anything like that, but it was more of a time waster versus anything.
How much money did you make the last 3 days of your business?
This week was an $18,000 week. It was a good week. It's going up. And every week it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And what's crazy is a couple of years ago, I was praying for a paycheck. Praying for a paycheck. It's funny, we talk about it now. I mean, EP3's 9 years old now. And we're all joking on stage. What'd you make this month? Like, you're the broke one. Yeah, you're the broke one making 50 grand a month. And it's weird, interesting, fun, rewarding, all at the same time where what people used to make in a year, now we're making a month. And now what people used to make in a month, they're starting to make in a week. And it's just wild to see where things are going.
Here with Patrick Bet-David. Happy freaking birthday,
My man,
PBD.
thank you. Yes.
Welcome to your 40s.
It's good to be in my 40s. For 3 days, for 2 days so far.
So, PBD, what did you do different when you were broke that you kept cycling in the same paycheck to paycheck cycle that you don't do anymore now as an entrepreneur and having some money?
What cycle when I was broke that I'm not doing today?
Correct.
I would say I would probably dwell way too much on things that I had zero control over when I was broke. Way too much. I think way too much about stuff I had no control over. People thought what was going to happen, 7 years from now, 20 years from now. Way too much over things I had no control over. The moment I realized I'm going to do what I can have control over and put energy into that, the game completely changed me.
Because you've just turned 40, what are you not taking into your 40s that you had evolve around with you in your 20s and 30s?
I would say temper was bad in my teens and my 20s.
I don't see that happening with you then.
Yeah, anger was there in my 30s on people and outside people trying to impose their negativity and their energy into you, which makes you angry. In my 40s, I'm hoping that stays in my 30s, where the anger is completely different, and that stays somewhere we don't experience that in my 40s.
So there's something between being angry and having fire in your belly.
Fire is okay. Anger is not. Anger, you lose control. Fire is motivation to keep going. So, big difference. I want to keep the fire. I want to minimize the anger.
Outstanding. Patrick, honored to be here for your birthday. There you go, PBD.
We had a great time, man. Good stuff.
So there you have it. Oftentimes people think, man, it's just one great business opportunity, there's one great investment. Listen, I hope what you got from this video, that in order to go from broke to becoming rich or having money, it's simply a mindset. It's simply an attitude. It's an understanding of principles, values, and moral beliefs that you follow to get you to the next level in your life. Because along the way, you will find a skill. When the will is there, you're going to find the techniques, you're going to find the strategies, and more importantly, you're going to find the people to help you go from one economic level to the next. So if you've been watching this, I hope you've been subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you haven't done yet, please subscribe right here. If you haven't done so yet, hit the notification tab, boom, and be alerted the next time we upload our next video. If you watch this on Facebook, please click like and follow our business page. With that being said, thanks for tuning in to this Get Money series. And until we meet again, continue to live smart, continue to love smart, and be money smart today.